As a woman in her 30s who's been in New York for 10 years, it's really hard to watch toxic men continuously date younger and younger. Why do they do that?
What about love is love? What about why do you care? What about all those things? I think they're stupid concepts, but she's the exact type of person who would say it all goes out the window when they don't agree. Yes, you're 30 and you're single and you're angry that the men your age are looking past you and are looking to date younger women. I'm sorry, but this is the world we live in.
Yo, what's up guys? Back again with another video for the Passport Bros. First and foremost, please hit that like and comment, subscribe button. It helps the channel a lot and I appreciate it very, very dearly. Now today we have this brother reacting to this Western woman speaking on dating in New York and how she says it's hard to watch men her age. She's in her 30s, rather, you know, past her prime. And it's hard for her to watch men in her age range pass her up and go for other women who these men feel are better and younger and more beautiful. And she's basically trying to shame these men because they're dating younger women. But the man in the video is responding, okay, but what about love is love? And why do you care? See, when women date younger men, it's never an issue. It's never a problem. If you were to see a 40-year-old grown woman dating some 20-year-old guy, the woman would, quick break guys, I just wanted to introduce to you the free money making guide to become a passport bro and sustain your lifestyle overseas. How to make money as a passport bro working remotely. Get your guide now, join the community. The link is in the description below and in the comment section as well. Let's get this money guys. Say, oh, you go queen, get him girl. Ooh, go sis, you got one. Oh, I see you sis. Get them, all the support. But now let's flip it on the other side. If it was a man in his 40s dating a woman in her 20s, oh, he's just taking advantage of her. Why is he dating her? He's date somebody in your own range. Oh, you need to be dating somebody in your age. They're always going to shame, blame, in order to tame, because it does not benefit them. And a lot of times it's usually just the older women themselves who want these kind of men, who are checking for these kind of men, the older men, but those men are not checking for you. Those men are not checking for a woman in her 30s and her 40s, like, especially when there's so many women out here that are younger and more beautiful that are also an option. But of course, these women are going to shame, blame, disrespect, and try to make it seem as if these men are doing something wrong because they don't stand to benefit from them doing this. One thing about these Western women that you can definitely for sure say, anything that does not benefit them, they're going to shun regardless, because these men dating younger women actually makes more sense for them, because you're not even taking into consideration maybe these older men want to have a family, maybe they want a woman that's going to be supportive and more willing to understand his way of life. Usually younger people are more open and more willing to understand, because as the saying goes, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Because the older women get, sometimes it's harder to explain certain things to them, you know, help them understand certain things, help them to see your perspective, because they're older. So like, they have, you know, their ways set in on how they operate in their life. They're already accustomed to seeing things a certain way, believing things a certain way, feelings ways about certain things, a certain ways. Like, they're very set in their own ways. So if you as a man are trying to start a relationship with this type of woman, a lot of times you're going to do that much more work. It's going to be a lot harder for you to try to get her on your program. For her to understand the blueprint of the program within itself is hard, because she might have her own program. She might have her own blueprint. Women usually that age, by that time, already have their own stuff going on. So it's hard for her to assimilate into what you have going on. And that within itself can put, certain stresses on the relationship. So it makes sense for these men to date younger. And then a lot of times we have to take into account, these men want children. These men want a family. If you're dealing with a woman that's in her 30s, you have to take into account the years it's going to take for you to even get to know her to the point where you'll even feel comfortable with blessing her with your child and giving her the opportunity to have your child. Like, that's a big blessing and an opportunity that you'll be giving to her. But if she herself is not really that fertile, because as we all know, the older that women get, it's harder for them to have children, because their bodies change, the womb change and things like that. Like, they don't have as many eggs as they would have had if they were younger. So like, there's going to be certain complications with having children. And the older men, they know that. And it's a very real thing that they have to take into consideration. After all, men think logically, not emotionally. So the logical option for those men would be to date women who are young and beautiful. Women in their 20s who, are in their prime as far as fertility, if you're trying to have a child, if you're trying to start a family. It makes a lot of sense, because those women, you can spend years or so getting to know her. And then maybe when she's in her later 20s, then you can start having kids, and you'll have healthy kids, and you won't have any little to no complications as far as having children. It makes a lot of sense. But of course, these Western women want to ignore that very real concern and shun these men just because they want to manipulate and tame these men into doing what they want these men to do. You don't actually care about what these men want. You don't actually care about why these men are doing what they're doing. You don't actually care about what these men stand to benefit, what they stand to lose. You just care about what you stand to benefit, what you as a woman stand to gain from dealing with these type of men. And you don't care enough to actually take into account their perspective. That's why they're so quick to shame, blame in order to tame, because they just don't care. It's only about what you want, what she wants, and what she's looking for when she wants what she wants. But it's not just about what you want. And then another thing is, a lot of these younger women in their 20s, they want older men. But we're not blaming the younger women. It's always just the men. Oh, the men, they're always just dating young and beautiful women. Oh, it's their fault. What about the younger women that literally seek out, pursue, chase after older men because that's what they want? These younger women, they understand that older men tend to have more resources, tend to have more experience, tend to, be more mature. These younger women a lot of times are the ones who even sought out and chased and approached these older men. But they don't blame the younger women. They're not blaming the younger women. They don't even think, oh, maybe it was her idea to start the relationship. Maybe she was the one that went after him. It's automatically, oh, he's at fault. It's his problem. He's the one that's in the wrong. It's like, no. He might have completely been minding his business, and some younger, 20-something-year-old girl came up to him. She was interested in him. She shot her shot. And now, a few years later, now they're in a relationship. Now they're getting ready to have kids. That's a very real scenario that they want to conveniently leave out, just to blame the men. The men are bad. The men are always the problem. Men. They're always wrong. Blame the men. See, this is the type of mentality from women that we are trying to escape and get away from. That's why I encourage passport bros to go overseas and deal with women who don't just care about themselves, but care about others as well, and care enough to try to understand your perspective as well. So with that being said, guys, continue to get your passports, continue to book your flights. If it ain't foreign, it's boring. If it ain't foreign, I'm ignoring. Passport bros, we up. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, guys.